If you have just bought the Light Brigade, then this might just be the video for you. This game can be really hard, so I've put together this video with 10 tips for beginners that should help you survive for longer. So let's get into it. My first tip is a basic one, and it's about movement. There are two ways to move in the Light Brigade, continuous and teleport, but you should be utilizing both to survive for longer. The mistake I made when starting the Light Brigade was only to use continuous movement. The problem with that is that enemies are really good at tracking you when you move like this, and because the enemies kill you really quickly, this can be a big problem. So here's my first tip. The only time you should be using continuous movement is when you are peeking in and out of cover, or when there are no enemies about. The rest of the time you should use the teleport feature. The enemies can't track you when you teleport, so you can use it to dodge bullets, move between cover, or move away from grenades. It even seems like if the enemy is using magic attacks, the only way to dodge that is to teleport. So yeah, teleport often. That leads me nicely into my next tip, that you can use the teleport to gain height. There are walls and platforms that are only accessible via the teleport, and the teleport can be used to skip to certain areas or get to areas that you might not think you can access. Why go through a door and up some stairs to get to a roof when you could just teleport there instantly? Not only that, but if you hold the teleport button down, you can see where all of the enemy's traps are, meaning that you shouldn't get caught in any more bear traps. My next tip is about making money. A big part of the Light Brigade is purchasing weapons and tarot card upgrades from a guy called Jude. Well, to do that, you need coins, and you find coins throughout the levels in jars and boxes. So, once you've killed all the enemies in the level, I recommend going back through the level to any areas you may have missed to check for these pots and boxes to make sure that you're maximizing your loot, because picking up that extra coin could make all the difference in being able to afford that weapon mod. You might even find rarer items in these boxes like attachments. Speaking of attachments, don't forget that if you've unlocked a sidearm, you can also attach your weapon mods to that as well. You can then also activate the attachments and put the gun away. It won't cancel the activation, so when you pull your pistol out later, the ability will still be ready to go, which can be really useful if you're in a sticky situation. Now, I know at the beginning of each level the temptation is to run in there guns blazing, but there are a few things you can do before entering the level that should improve your chances of success. The first being that you can actually see a bit into the level through the mist, including any enemies that might be there. Therefore, it's always worth taking a look so you have an idea of what you're walking into, as on a few occasions I changed my tactics because I saw what was coming through the mist. Did you also know that you can activate your charms before you go through the mist and enter the level? So before entering each level, you should always activate your charms on both your primary and secondary weapons, as it means you won't waste time doing it in the heat of battle. Let's change gears now a bit and talk about the tarot cards. You will find boxes in the world with 3 cards in them that let you choose one. These buff your character, and therefore it's really important to choose the best ones. But how do you know which cards are the best? Well, as a general rule, I look at the top of the cards, as there are these little stars, which I think tell you the card's level. This ranges from 1 to 3 stars, with 3 being the best. So if you want a quick way of telling which card is best, just look at the star level. Let's talk about gathering souls for a second. When you kill enemies, you gain souls that you can cash to level up your character. So we want to maximize how many souls we're getting per run. You may notice as you're going through your runs that there are bodies of other Light Brigade members that have been killed, either laying on the floor or pinned to trees by arrows. But did you know that you can pray to them and save their souls, which gives you some bonus souls for your efforts? My penultimate tip is that the Light Brigade is not a sprint, it's a marathon. There are no checkpoints, so you need to take things slow and move methodically through the levels. If you carelessly take damage on level 1, that might end up being the reason you die to a boss later on. So yeah, take it slow. And my final tip for this video isn't really a tip, but it's the most important thing, and that's to have fun. This game is an absolute blast, and you don't need to use any of these tips to enjoy the game. The main thing you should do is enjoy yourself. Now, if you're watching this on a Wednesday, the day the Light Brigade comes out, then I should be currently live on Twitch, so feel free to stop by and say hello. The link will be in the down below description. I hope you found this video useful. I made it mainly for beginners that don't know the game yet, so if I helped you learn something today, I am really glad, and I hope to see you all in the future in my next videos. Bye guys!